You think you know your favorite Hollywood stars, but some of them have shocking secrets hidden behind the red carpet smiles. In this video, we're going to talk about something you don't hear everyday celebrities who have secret criminal records. These are the same stars we see on movie screens, red carpets, and magazine covers. But behind the scenes, some of them have gotten into serious trouble with the law. From surprising arrests to forgotten court cases, their past might shock you. In today's countdown, we'll go from number 10 all the way to number 1, sharing real stories about Hollywood stars who've had run-ins with the law. So sit back and get ready to learn some things you probably didn't know about your favorite celebrities. Let's begin the countdown with number 10, Tim Allen. Before he became famous for making people laugh in shows like Home Improvement and movies like Toy Story, Tim Allen had a very dark chapter in his life. Back in 1978, long before he was a household name, Tim was arrested at an airport in Michigan for carrying over 650 grams of cocaine. That's a huge amount. At the time, he was in his 20s and struggling with his life choices. Facing the possibility of life in prison, Tim made a deal with the authorities. He gave them information about other drug dealers, and in return, he got a reduced sentence of just over 2 years in prison. What's surprising is how he turned his life around after that. Once he got out, he stayed away from crime and focused on comedy. He worked hard, got noticed, and eventually became one of TV's most loved funny guys. It just goes to show how someone's past doesn't always define their future. Let's move on to number 9, Mark Wahlberg. Today, Mark Wahlberg is known as a successful actor, producer, and businessman. But when he was a teenager growing up in Boston, he had a much rougher life. At the age of 16, Mark was involved in a violent attack on 2 Vietnamese men. One of the victims was hit so hard with a stick that he lost sight in one eye. Wahlberg was arrested and charged with attempted murder. He ended up pleading guilty to assault and served 45 days in jail. What makes this case so interesting is how far Wahlberg has come since then. He has talked openly about his past, saying he deeply regrets what he did. As he got older, he worked to turn his life around. He started focusing on his career, got into music with the group Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, and then became a big Hollywood star. His story reminds us that people can change, but their past is still a part of who they are. Let's see who's next at number 8. Reese Witherspoon. Reese Witherspoon is known for her sweet and smart roles in movies like Legally Blonde and Sweet Home Alabama. But in 2013, she made headlines for something completely different. Reese and her husband, Jim Toth, were pulled over by police in Atlanta. Jim was suspected of driving under the influence. While the officers were doing their job, Reese got out of the car and started arguing with them. She even said the famous line, "Do you know my name?" and told them they were about to find out who she was. Reese was arrested for disorderly conduct, and the whole thing was caught on a police camera. It shocked many fans because she usually has such a calm and classy image. Later, she apologized and said she was embarrassed by her behavior. She admitted that she had one too many drinks and made a mistake. The arrest didn't ruin her career, but it definitely showed a different side of the actress. Now let's move on to number 7, Matthew Broderick. Most people remember Matthew Broderick as the fun and carefree teen in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. But in 1987, he was involved in a tragic accident while on vacation in Northern Ireland. He was driving with his then-girlfriend, actress Jennifer Grey, when their car crossed into the wrong lane and crashed into another vehicle. Sadly, the crash killed a mother and daughter in the other car. Broderick was charged with causing death by dangerous driving, which is a serious crime. But later, the charge was reduced to careless driving, and he paid a small fine. Many people were upset about how lightly he was punished. Even though it was ruled an accident, the event left a mark on his reputation. Broderick rarely talks about it, and most fans don't even know it happened. It's a quiet but serious moment in the life of an actor known for making people smile. Let's head to number 6, Winona Ryder. Winona Ryder was one of the biggest stars in the 1990s, with hits like Beetlejuice, Edward Scissorhands, and Girl, Interrupted. But in 2001, she shocked fans around the world when she was caught shoplifting from a fancy store in Beverly Hills. Winona was accused of stealing more than $5,000 worth of clothes and accessories. The store had her on security camera, and when police arrived, they also found prescription drugs that she didn't have a legal prescription for. The news spread fast and people couldn't believe it. Why would a rich and famous actress steal things she could easily buy? Some believe she was going through a hard time emotionally. In court, she was found guilty of felony grand theft and vandalism, but avoided jail by doing community service and paying fines. After that, Winona stayed away from the spotlight for a while, but later made a big comeback with Stranger Things. Her story shows how even the most glamorous stars can struggle with personal problems. Let's keep going with number 5, Christian Slater. Christian Slater is another actor who became popular in the late 80s and 90s with movies like Heathers and True Romance. But behind the scenes, he had a wild side that often got him into trouble. In 1997, Christian was arrested after a night of partying in Los Angeles. He was charged with assault for hitting his girlfriend and a police officer. On top of that, he was under the influence of alcohol and drugs. The court sent him to jail for 59 days, and he also had to attend rehab. This wasn't his first run-in with the law. Christian had already been arrested a few times before for carrying a weapon and drunk driving. At one point, it looked like his career might be over. But over time, he worked hard to clean up his life and get back on track. Later, he earned praise for his role in the show Mr. Robot. His story is another example of someone learning from their mistakes. Let's move ahead to number 4, Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars is known for his smooth voice, catchy songs, and amazing performances. But back in 2010, before he became a global superstar, Bruno made a mistake that could have ruined his career. He was caught with a small amount of cocaine in a hotel bathroom in Las Vegas. The police arrested him, and the story quickly hit the news. Fans were shocked, especially because Bruno had such a clean and cheerful image. Instead of denying it, Bruno admitted what he did and promised to learn from it. The court gave him a deal. He had to do community service, pay a fine, and stay out of trouble for a year. If he followed the rules, the charges would be dropped. And that's exactly what he did. Bruno stayed focused on his music and went on to win multiple Grammy Awards. This event became a quiet part of his past, but it reminds us that even the most successful people make mistakes. Let's see who comes in at number 3. Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. is now best known for playing Iron Man in the Marvel movies, but before his comeback, he had a long history of drug and legal problems. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, Robert was arrested multiple times for drug possession, including heroin and cocaine. In one shocking moment, he broke into a neighbor's house while under the influence and fell asleep in their bed. He also missed court-ordered rehab and spent time in jail. For many years, his career was falling apart. Studios didn't want to hire him because he seemed unreliable. But Robert didn't give up. With help from his family and friends, he slowly got clean. He worked hard to rebuild his life and his image. Eventually, Marvel took a chance on him, and it paid off. Today, Robert is one of the highest-paid actors in the world. His story is a powerful example of how someone can turn their life around, no matter how bad things get. Now it's time for number 2. Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber was once the teen heartthrob of the world, with millions of fans and hit songs everywhere. But fame came fast, and for a while, Justin started going down a troubled path. In 2014, when he was just 19 years old, he was arrested in Miami for drag racing a yellow Lamborghini while under the influence of alcohol and drugs. He didn't have a valid driver's license and was acting out with his friends. The arrest shocked many people, especially parents of young fans. That wasn't his only issue. Around the same time, Justin had several run-ins with the law, including vandalism for throwing eggs at a neighbor's house and being rude to police officers. His behavior started to hurt his image, but later, Justin took responsibility. He apologized to his fans and started making better choices. He focused on music, his faith, and building a healthier lifestyle. Today, he talks openly about his past mistakes and how he's grown from them. Now let's reveal number 1, Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan was once one of the brightest stars in Hollywood. From her breakout role in The Parent Trap to her teen hits like Mean Girls, she had the world at her feet. But behind the fame, Lindsay was struggling. Between 2007 and 2012, she was arrested multiple times for driving under the influence, drug possession, and violating probation. She also spent time in rehab and even did some short stints in jail. Lindsay's fall from fame happened in front of the whole world. The media covered every detail of her arrests, court dates, and personal problems. It was heartbreaking to watch someone with so much talent and potential go through so many issues. But in recent years, Lindsay has been trying to make a comeback. She moved away from the spotlight, focused on her health, and started acting again. Her story is a reminder that fame doesn't always mean happiness, and that healing takes time. Let's wrap things up. And there you have it, the top 10 Hollywood stars with secret or surprising criminal records. These stories remind us that even the most famous and talented people can make mistakes. What matters most is how they respond, grow, and try to do better. Some of these stars turn their lives around while others are still working on it. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more countdowns and stories just like this one. And if you have a favorite celebrity you were surprised to see on this list, or someone you think we missed, drop a comment below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.